E3 has come and gone, and I haven't really reported much on it. But I have seen most of the games there, and I decided to compile a list of 10 upcoming games that I am most looking forward to play. In no particular order, here we go. Number 10, Dead Rising 4. I have played Dead Rising 3 and really liked it. Sadly, I've never done any videos on it for the channel. But Dead Rising 4 improves upon Dead Rising 3, and then that alone will get me excited for it. Now, if I were to describe Dead Rising series, it would be like the Saints Row of open world zombie games, where the game doesn't really take itself too serious at all and just adds a ton of fun things to do rather than just surviving with zombies. Dead Rising 3 was a major improvement over the second one, which I wasn't actually very fond of, but still does have some issues, especially the PC port, which was awful. I'll definitely stay away from Dead Rising 4 until the port reviews show up, but as you can see, it just looks like they once again made the gameplay improvements. The game looks still quite fun, and it's sadly going to only be released for Windows 10 and Xbox One. Number 9, Titanfall 2. After the first one fell short of gameplay, I do hope they have learned something and added more gameplay features to this one. Titanfall 1 was a really good game that lacked variety and got old quite quickly. However, it did introduce a fresh, new first-person shooter game like we haven't had before. It does look like they have heard the feedback from the community and are looking to bring in a more fresh and improved game. Titanfall 1 set the bar, and Titanfall 2 will raise it. For that reason, I decided to include this one on my list. Which leaves us to number 8. Watch Dogs 2. I have played so many hours of Watch Dogs and I've made over 60 videos on my channel. I've spoken a bit about Watch Dogs 2 in a separate video, so I won't bore you guys repeating myself with my thoughts and opinions on it. I will just leave a link for that video. But now that we actually know more stuff about this game and have seen some actual gameplay footage, we know what to look forward to. However, word of caution, we have been let down by Ubisoft before regarding this, where they showed the game with amazing graphics and physics and then gave us a dumbed down version of it. This time around though, they haven't really hyped it that much, but I'm still skeptical about the full features that we'll see once the game actually launches. Now, improvements for this game, and what really got me excited about it is that they show some real actual hacking more than before. Like before, you could control cameras, you could control the lights at stoplights, you could control ATMs. Now you can actually hack people's phones. You can do so much more with this new and improved version of the game, and that will just leave me excited too, because they didn't just kept the game as it was, they've actually changed it to something better. For that reason, I do really hope that the game is good, and I will play it on this channel as soon as it gets out. Number 7, God of War. Now here's one series that it's exclusive to PlayStation, and that I've actually played every game on my channel. Of course, I can't wait for the newest one in the series to come out. For what we've seen from the gameplay trailers, it's that the game is completely different from all the previous God of War games. Like, it's nothing like we've played before. And I actually think that's a good thing because of the feedback of God of War Ascension received. Now, this one kind of plays like an action game. It reminds me a little bit of like Dark Souls and like the gameplay style of Uncharted. Kratos now has a son, and he looks a lot older and different from, previous games. The game is now set in Norse mythology, where all the other previous games were set in Greek mythology. This is supposed to be a direct sequel to God of War 3 and a fresh new game in the series. It kind of reminds me of The Last of Us as well for a little bit, just the fact that he now has a son, and it kind of gives you that co-op-y feeling on the game. I really, really, really do hope that this one does not disappoint me, and it's going to be a very good one. Number 6, Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered. Of course, I have to have a Call of Duty game here. Now, the last one I've played and actually enjoyed was Call of Duty Black Ops 2. After that, I kind of steered away from the Call of Duty series, as every year it has been more futuristic settings with advanced wars full of gadgets and imaginary futuristic guns. What we really want is a step back to the older games like World at War and the early Modern Warfare series, which is what most people really enjoyed Call of Duty. Well, it looks like they kinda only half listened to their fans and actually made a remastered version of Modern Warfare. Now, I'm really excited for it. I am also really cautious as of right now, because it seems like in order to be able to play it, you need to buy Infinite Warfare. Yet another futuristic game that the games trailer has had the most dislikes on YouTube. Now, if that doesn't send a very loud and clear message, I don't know what will. However, developers do like money, and like many times before where they claimed that pre-order bonuses were super exclusive, if you don't pre-order you'll never get this, only for a few weeks later to be added as DLC. I do believe that they will just release the game on its own eventually, especially a few weeks after they force everyone who wants to play it to buy Infinite Warfare because they have to raise the sales for that one. Now, on that trailer, and I'm just going on by that, there are two trailers. I'm showing you the second one that all the fans really want to see. There is a trailer for Infinite Warfare that received a ton of dislikes. It is right now still one of the most disliked videos on YouTube, especially after it racked up about 30 million views, where people are just shouting on the comments that they just want the Modern Warfare Remastered, and obviously that one's got a ton of likes. That should tell you straight away what the fans want. So, of course, I don't care about Infinite Warfare. I'm not going to get it unless I have to. I will, however, get Modern Warfare Remastered, and I do hope to play the hell out of it. Number 5. State of Decay 2. I've played and enjoyed State of Decay 1. It's an open world zombie game that we all needed at the time, where zombie games were the greatest thing ever. Now, just like many number one games, there is always room for improvement. And one big thing I did suggest several times was co-op. The game felt lonely. Even though there are plenty of AI characters, I did feel like I should have been playing with someone else as co-op. Not a massive multiplayer world, but just two players playing with each other. Well, they finally added a 4-player co-op to State of Decay 2. There's also a new and improved base management system, more vehicle variety, all this with no expense on single player. You can still play the game on your own, which is of course better with friends. And as far as I know, it's just going to be bigger and better open worlds with, co-op people to play with. Moving on to number 4, Dead Island 2. Why is this on my list, you may ask? Well, I for one am still waiting for it to be released. We have seen some alpha gameplay, a trailer, and actually not much else. They haven't showed it at E3 this year, and not much more has been mentioned. As far as we know, the game is still under development, and it's out when it's out. But considering how much I like the previous 2 games, I'm just hoping that this one does see the light of day, and that it's worth the wait. I have mentioned this several times before, but Dead Island needs improvements to the core gameplay. It was great before, but it was lacking. Although the game was pushed back a year to be released in 2016, the developers are still silent, and it's already halfway through the year. It was firstly announced in 2014 to be released in 2015, and then it was announced that it was delayed to this year, and we still haven't heard anything of it. I know it's going to be a complicated game to make because of all the improvements and all the mechanics, and we do know very well they change game engines. However, I really do hope they don't cancel it just yet, and that we do end up playing it this year. For that reason, and even though it wasn't mentioned at E3, I decided to put it here. Coming down to the last 3 now. Number 3 is Dragonball Xenoverse 2. Now here's a fresh new approach to the Dragon Ball series, where previous to the Xenoverse series, all other Dragon Ball games were just a repeat with a few new mechanic changes. Well, no more of that. Xenoverse 1 has changed that with a massive twist, and Xenoverse 2 will once again change things and improve upon. More what-if style stories with new characters as well as good old classic ones we all know and love. I have to say that I loved Xenoverse 1. I played it on PC and the game was extremely well optimized. The sequel will have, of course, a much bigger main hub city where you will be able to fly around. There's also new characters from Dragonball Super, and players will be able to import previous characters into the game. So the customized characters you created on Dragon Ball Xenoverse will now be able to be imported and played in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. Of course, they have pretty much expanded and improved upon a lot of game mechanics, especially the character creation, the fighting style, and of course the story. Now this is one I am truly excited about because just like many other games, Dragon Ball Xenoverse 1 did set the bar. Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 has every chance to improve upon it. Let's hope they don't make the mistake to repeat the same story again and just change mechanics and add new characters, which it doesn't seem like they're going to do that. It actually looks like they are completely just giving the game a whole new plot on its own. At number 2 is Resident Evil 7. Anyone that knows my channel knows that I'm a big Resident Evil fan. I've played almost every game on the channel, so yes, I'm looking forward to yet another game in the series. Now, this is not what I had in mind at all for the new Resident Evil game, because I heard Capcom saying before something about the possibility of making Resident Evil game being open world, which got me thinking immediately, Raccoon City is going to finally be fully explorable and open. Well, it doesn't seem to be the case for Resident Evil 7 because the demo they released was something else that I was not expecting and never saw coming. A first-person perspective with jump scares and puzzles to solve, kind of reminiscing of Amnesia: The Dark Descent style gameplay, where there is so much mystery revolving around the demo, which by the way kind of hints to a Resident Evil 2 remake. Now, the developers have spoken and said something along the lines of changing it to make it as scary today for new players as it was 20 years ago for the players back then. One can't deny it being scary, but it's something that we'll see if it fits into the Resident Evil universe. Considering all the bad new games that come with a Resident Evil tag, will this be another one in the series or will actually be a much needed reboot? Well, I do hope it's an improvement to the last Resident Evil 6, which was more of an action game than anything else, so I do agree that the game does need to go back to its roots. However, will this game be a success or not? Only time will tell. I did enjoy the demo, so we'll see what we get. Last but not least, at number 1 is Injustice 2. I did play and love the story of Injustice Gods Amongst Us, which left me wanting for more, of course. Different characters fighting over a different story, and you get to play these heroes and villains. You get to beat them in a fighting style game. Mechanics wise, the game will play just like before, where each character has their own traits. However, something completely new to the series is a loot system, where you can get and equip your characters with gear, which gives them abilities and stats and also customizes the look for your characters. For the story, as far as we know right now, it will carry on where it last left off in Gods Amongst Us, where the alternative timeline, Batman and his insurgents try to piece society back together, while still struggling against the remaining of Superman's regime. And in the middle of all this, a new threat appears that puts the planet at risk. I am looking forward for this game because I liked the first one so much. They increased the roster, they had a little bit of variety and a different story. And this is it for my top 10 games I look forward to play. If you watched the video until the end, then please do let me know which games you are excited about to play. I know I've missed a lot of very good games that are also coming out, but I'll make separate videos for all these upcoming games at a later date. This is just the 10 ones I could think of from the top of my head that I wanted to put them in the list just to let you guys know I am really looking forward for these games and I want to play every single one of them. I know opinions change and mine probably will, but please do let me know what you guys think about this and I'll see you guys on the next one.